Welcome to Bold Talk series where creativity, leadership, ideas, innovation come together. My name is Epi Ludvik, and today I have a privilege to have a short one-on-one conversation with Narek Vardanyan, founder and CEO of Prelaunch.com. Narek, great seeing you, my friend, and welcome to our Bold Talk series. How are you?
Hey man, thanks for having me. Always good.
Yeah, it's always great to reconnect with you. You're doing some amazing things, and I truly wanted to have this conversation so people get to know. Not many people know, but we want to make sure also that our audience knows about the work that you're doing. First, Eric, let's start from your career. You built a career helping innovators avoid one of the biggest traps in entrepreneurship, creating something nobody wants. A
Yeah.
lot of times, entrepreneurs, they don't have that clear product market fit, and it takes them too long and they waste so much time, energy, and efforts and money. Can you take us back to the exact moment you realized this was the problem you want to solve for the rest of your career?
Yeah, absolutely. So it all started with our previous company called TCF, which was a marketing agency. It is still a marketing agency, one of the leading agencies out there, helping companies to launch their products and in crowdfunding, in e-commerce. So when I started TCF, we quickly got some attention and some companies have been sending their prototypes to us. And we quickly needed to decide which one is the best seller out of all these products, because with our model, we would receive a percentage from the raised amount, percentage from the sales. So we needed to figure out and work only with the best products, with the best campaigns, right? And I was the most experienced guy in the team. So I was entering into the room full of products, picking up one that I was thinking that this is going to be the best, and then throwing up everything to the trash. And then the whole team was working on it for 6 months. Then we would launch this project and it would fail. And then we would see that the ones that we threw away, basically some of them are raising millions of dollars out there. So it was very, very painful and frustrating. And I was thinking that with experience and with time we'll get better, but we never got better. So it was always very difficult to really understand what's the innovation and what's the most like which one has the highest potential right out there. So we dig deeper a little bit into this problem, and what we realized was like basically shocking and surprising. So we realized that it's not only about startups, but also with big companies. Basically, the research is done by paying people and then asking their opinion, what they think about this or that idea. And while this might work to some degree, with innovations, it's really hard to understand if you're asking the right person, right? So there is almost no way to in a very significantly kind of trustful way to understand if this data is trustful or not. So what we did, we basically flipped it around the model, and instead of us paying people and then asking their opinions, we said, if you really like this product, place small amount of deposits like $1, $5, etc., and only after we're interested what you think. So basically this would validate not only the product itself but also a person, and afterward we would ask bunch of questions to understand why they are buying these products, why they don't buy the products. So that was the start of it, and we used it as a service in TCF, which helped us to find the best-selling concepts at a very early stage, helped us grow the agency to become one of the leaders in the industry. And then we noticed that there is a big demand for this type of service. Then we spin it off, created a platform, and now we're helping companies like Ducati, Bosch, Audi, Procter and Gamble, and others.
Yeah. Yeah. So I remember that's how we got connected. This was through the your previous agency, the TCF, which stands for the crowdfunding formula. You truly got now to the right formula with the agency, but also now with the pre-launch. What was the toughest personal leap you had to make when you were shifting from the agency to the pre-launch? And how did you know it was worth the risk for you to make that shift?
So basically, we're shifting a whole new industry, and then all our kind of experience and knowledge, which we grew in agency industry, right, in crowdfunding, we needed to kind of get back to the point zero and start everything from the scratch, because Prelaunch is a B2B SaaS company. It's a platform focused on enterprises. So it's a software platform, right? It's not a service. So everything was new, and everybody in the team needed to requalify again, starting from me, right? Because working with enterprises is so different than working with startups. Like creating a software product is so different than creating a service business, right? So I would say it was 100% new, and it took us a lot of time and also dig deeper into the research, into the problems, into the traditional kind of ways, and then what kind of frustrations have these medium and big size companies. And basically within these 2 or 3 years we are learning, I would say, and we're still learning and still a lot of things to learn. But yeah, it's kind of in our culture to get back to zero, requalify again, and then start learn something new, which we are doing now again. Like we are developing a lot of AI tools, and we didn't know anything about it, so we need to go and start learning.
Yeah, very good point. Now, Narek, pre-launch is built on the idea that real purchase intent beats hypothetical answers. Was there a particular uh, early time um, that you thought that this was a test? Was there a particular early test or client store that truly proved this to you in a way that surprised even you?
So when we had the agency, there was one client who created something really surprising and really different. Like it was a privacy mask. So this was post-COVID era, and this guy created this mask, which was kind of looking funny, I would say. And this would cover your whole face and would prevent you from getting caught under cameras, etc. So he wanted to collaborate with TCF, and we rejected them. And he insisted. He said, like, I created something that people really want, like everybody wants this, etc. And I said, listen, man, like, don't waste your time on this. This nobody really wants this. So I personally was preventing this product of getting into the TCF. And then he said, no, I'm insisting, like, pardon my persistence. I really want you to work with you guys. So I said, okay, let's do pre-launch, and if it works, then we'll definitely take it. So we did the pre-launch, and to our great surprise, and to my great surprise, this product showed a very high potential, right? And we didn't know why. So we took the campaign, and this project did $500,000 in just the first couple of weeks. So that was so surprising that nobody in the team was believing in this idea. But it turned out that that was a great idea, actually, because sometimes you're judging based on your subjective kind of preferences and tests and experience. And as I said, you're not the customer. If you're not the customer, you cannot really know, right? So we have other stories also where we have been almost 100% sure that this product is going to fly, and the opposite proved to be true, right? So we have so many these kind of stories, but this type of stories told us this humble lesson that no matter what you think, as long as you're not the customer, you don't know, right? And how you could know is only by checking the behavioral purchase intent of customers and their true kind of behavior, having them having skin in the game, and kind of having incentives to tell the truth. Because otherwise there are a lot of fraud, it's biased, you cannot really be sure. Like we tried all the things, nothing was really working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I used to watch Shark Tank a lot before. I still watch it from time to time, like, some of the repeats and some previous episodes that I haven't watched it on YouTube now. But back then I used to watch it, and when I was living in New York, and I remember, like, like you said it very well, if you're not the customer, you just don't know, you don't know the value. So there are some products that I say, I would never even touch that. Later you find out from the pitch that these guys are making millions of dollars in sales. So like, wow, it's crazy. So that's for sure. Narek, you've seen products from solo creators and Fortune 500 giants go through your platform. What patterns do you notice in the innovators who succeed and in the ones who don't? Like some patterns, if you can share with us.
Yeah, that's a great question. Like we've done already thousands of products, right? Like a couple thousand, and it's less than 1% that a product manager or innovation manager gets everything right from the beginning. Usually, you might be right for a couple of things, right? You might be right on the concept, on the customers, but you might be wrong on the pricing, or you might be wrong on the channels, you might be wrong on marketing strategies, etc., etc. So it's very rare that you're doing something perfect from the beginning. Our philosophy and what we see that these successful founders, project managers, product managers are embracing is to involve the real customers on board and start co-creating together with those customers with iterations, right? So they start to listen what people say and how to fine tune the whole product, the whole concept until it's really ready. And they look at the metrics and they see that it's ready, and only after they launch it into the markets. So in most of the cases, the biggest successes that we had have been created together with the customers. So it has been a kind of teamwork where brands were partnering with their customers, kind of validating who are the customers, and then partnering with them, getting them on board, and then starting to co-create them, pretty much treating them as a team member, right? And as long as you do this, you figure out so many things and so many surprises that but you can guarantee it kind of improve the product, right? With iteration, we can guarantee that this method, this model, despite you're using Prelaunch or some other tools, as long as you're involving the customers in your creation process, the product is going to become better. It might not be the best selling product out there, but it definitely will be much better from the earlier phase.
Yeah. And with that, Eric, when we go, for example, deep and we look at, for example, deep market signals like your platform measures, price and sensitivity, for example, how do you see these insights reshaping the way the industry approaches development over the next decade?
So we see a lot of trends firsthand because we're mostly kind of dealing with the concepts, and we know that something is going to like be super success at earlier than anybody else, right? And we see it, and we're pretty sure that it's going to be very successful. So I'd say a lot of trends are happening right now. And yeah, and based on that, the most flexible teams are trying to embrace those trends. For example, like health is one of the major trends, and we see this trend reflecting on pretty much all types of products like consumer appliances, CPG, food, etc., right? And if you know it, you try to kind of embrace this trend and try to come up with different angles, positioning, messaging to see how your market reacts to these kind of changes. And based on that, you might come up with some really increasing market trend, which would take you and then make you much more successful.
Yeah. Um, Now, building a company that challenges a century-old research mindset requires quite a strong culture. I am very confident you built a really great culture. We got a chance to work together. What values or rituals have you instilled in prelaunch.com to keep it bold and ahead of the curve?
Yeah, that's a good one. So, first of all, constant learning. Like this is one of our cultural like core values, I would say, because you always need to learn. And we had this model where every Monday we would present what the team has learned in the previous week, right? So we still continue that, and we still try to embrace that learning mindset where almost every week you need to learn something new. If you want to be the leader of the industry, if you want to bring something new, you need to do a lot of experiments, you need to fail a lot, but you need to learn something, right? If you only go and learn from others learnings, you won't be a leader. At most you'll be like the follower. So that's one thing. We really embrace this feedback culture in the team, where everybody gives very direct feedback to almost anybody, including me. And I'd love to get feedback from interns who are just joining in the company, and they come and they say, you're not that great in this last presentation or retrospective session, etc. And with my example, I try to kind of create a culture where everybody is very comfortable by providing feedback, and that's a great learning source, I would say, in the team. Then we have this champion mindset where we're trying kind of set the bar really high, so high that everybody is so scared of that. We say if we're not scared from the bar, then the bar is not high enough. So every quarter when we are set our OKRs, KPIs and everything, and then we try to kind of revisit our vision and then align with the team, we always try to come up with these scary ideas because our experience has proven that they are scary only when you set them, but with time, when you get more involved into those, we had many times when we beat them and all the teammates were like really surprised. So they're getting this confidence gradually that the impossible might not be that impossible as it seems. Yeah, so these are the cornerstones, I'd say, and always and if you're trying to build something in the enterprise sector, you need to never give up, because it would take so much kind of courage, so many rejections, so many continuous talks. You need to have like a really good resistance to
Yeah.
survive.
It's a long game. The cycles are long for selling and for making decisions. So it's really a way you need to understand that when you enter this, you got to be really on a long game. Narek, so great to have you here. I always like to ask this as a last question to my guests, and that is like about the word bold. What does that mean to you personally?
So for me, it means to kind of shake the conventional wisdom and the traditional methods for something extraordinary. And we ourselves, we are kind of embracing the boldness, right? So we push people to start breakthrough innovations, to innovate, and not just kind of do some incremental stuff. And our vision and mission is basically to create a really comfortable environment where everybody would feel comfortable to do bold things. For that, we need to be bold ourselves. We need to shake and then bring really strange and, from the first sight, surprising methodologies and then models, because we're sure that something needs to be changed in the industry, where more innovation should come to life that can change people's lives.
Great way to end this conversation. Narek, so great to have you. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Until that time, take care, be great, and be bold, my friend. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.